Hello, everyone. I hope we're live. I was trying to go live a couple of seconds ago, and it was like, wait, it's not live. So welcome back to the channel. Just trying to fix my microphone for whatever reason it wants to give me fits today. So yeah, we're trying to do live right now.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys. We're having some technical issues with everything, it seems like. Okay, I have my microphone hopefully in place. It doesn't fall on me again. Basically today, just wanted to do, of course, our weekly Friday live stream where we talk about anything and everything that is reselling in eBay. And I'll try to get a little closer, even though you guys want me out of the shot. So as far as I put out some shorts on Instagram, Facebook, eBay, and they were wrong. I had to go back and redo them. Actually, it's talking about how USPS labels go into effect the 22nd. So I was right with that, but Monday's the 23rd. So it seems that the USPS is actually making these changes effective on Sunday. So you need to actually get your labels printed for any sales you do on Friday and Saturday by Saturday night. Otherwise, you're going to be paying higher rates on Sunday or Monday whenever you decide to run those labels. So just to give you a heads up on that, priority mail is going up 5%, and it's 5.5%, and 7.8, so almost 8% for first class mail. So if you're running one package here, one package there, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Let's say on a $10 priority mail package, just say $10 just to round it up to make the math easy. You're dealing with $10.55. So it's for every $10 you're adding 55 cents. For on the $5, let's just say a $5 priority mail label, you're looking at an additional 38 cents on top of that. So $5.38, but there's no $5 first class label. I'm just telling you that just for math simplicity. Now, it's not that big of a deal if you're doing one or two packages, but if you're running out, 20 or more packages, it all adds up, right? It all adds up over a year. We've sold well over 2,000 items on the main account in 2022. And if you just do the math, on all that, just say you're averaging an extra 40 or 50 cents a package, you're talking about another $1,000. So it's definitely not a huge deal, but of course, every time this happens, you just got to kind of calculate it into your strategy. And in doing so, like for us, we're actually changing our business policies to where our 0 to 8 ounce first class package was $4.99. We're doing it $5.99. Our 8 ounce to, or actually 9 ounce to 1 pound package that's first class is going up to $7.99. So that it'll absorb that cost increase, and of course the additional amount will offset the fact that eBay's charging you for the shipping that the customer's paying you. They're charging you fees on top of that. So and maybe anything left over on that will be covering a little bit into the cost of materials, which if you're buying bubble wrap and poly bags and all that, it definitely does add up. Now, real quick, want you guys to, of course, you guys drive the program, not me. I'm just here reading your questions and answers. Do me a favor, leave your comments and questions in the chat. If you're watching us after the fact, of course, it sucks that you're not here, but the fact that you're watching this after the fact is still pretty awesome. Comment and put your questions down below. I'll try to get back to you, or someone else might get back to you with that information. But no matter how you decide to participate with this video, please just hit that like button. That's all we ask. That helps drive the video out to other resellers who may not even know about this channel. So I'd appreciate that. I went with Archie, met him at the bins yesterday, and the Goodwill clearance bins, and it still a hot mess. You know, a lot of people. I mean, it's literally like you're dealing with children in elementary school. You have the old lady that works there. She just loves to yell at people and get behind the line, you know, or move your carts. You can't park here. Just you know, if you're going for that job, if you're that old man that just basically tells people every day to get off my lawn, that is perfect for you. So she was doing her thing, and it was a chaotic mess. People running to the bins, and it's like, really, we're adults here, you know, just running and bumping into people. It just doesn't seem right. So it is what it is. Found quite a few things. Spent about $34. Picked up, I mean, 4 or 5 bags of different items. I found a pair of these steel-toed work boots that were, just need to be cleaned up. No rips, tears, or, the soles are in great condition. Well, I didn't find a pair. I found one boot, right? Great. All I need to do is add another boot to my collection of single shoes at home. So I put it in reserve in my cart. If those of you don't know, you actually have a parking space at the bins. It's one side of the store where they give you a place to park your carts. And it's sort of a known thing that you don't get into other people's carts. You just park your carts and you just go, find something, you go back to your cart and put it in there. And people
do go in other people's carts. I saw it when I went the one time.
Well, people are pretty good about it, but I know that people were throwing, like this one lady, she kept throwing the stuff she didn't want. She'd check it on her app and she realized it wasn't worth anything. So she threw it into Archie's cart. So Archie kept saying, that lady keeps throwing stuff into my cart. And so that was pretty funny. But I found that one boot. So I put it in my cart for safekeeping. And right when I was about to go back, I turned around and there's this lady, she's walking to her cart and she's got the other boot. And I basically held my boot up. I said, it's going to be hard to sell that without this one, huh? And so I said, you want to flip for it? And she took out a quarter. She said, yeah. She was actually trying to hand me the quarter to buy the boot. I'm like, no, we're going to flip for it. And so she took heads and I flipped the coin. It came up heads. So I gave her the boot, right? It's probably about a $30-$40 sale on the, chance. We're in Vegas, right? Now, why not gamble for it? But I don't know how else a fair way to figure out who was going to get that other boot.
That was fair.
That's fair. And so Archie comes up and says, look at this, man. I got this. It's called Desu. I guess I'm saying it wrong, but it's DEAUX. There's the first word. EX is the next word. It's a video game, it's a vintage video game, PC game. They had it on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. But this was sealed. And so he found in the bins. He's like, hey, look, this thing goes for $80, And I'm like, oh man, that's cool. How do you get so lucky? Whenever we go to the bins, he's like always finding stuff like that. So apparently he had that conversation with some other person who's looking for video games and said, look, it's worth $80. The guy's like, I'll give you 80 right now for it. And he's like, okay. So the guy gives him 80. And then Archie's like, why did he give me 80 so quick? So he goes in and looks into it. And the darn thing's going for $250 sealed. I guess he was looking at the used comp. So he was like, oh man, I could have got this, but I'm happy. I said, you should be. Everything here now that you buy is a free roll. You'd even buy this thing and you sold it to this guy. So it was a pretty interesting day.
Easy $80 to me.
I mean, what do? You get upset about something like that? I mean, I don't think you should. I mean, you were very fortunate to find not only the item, but someone who's willing to give you that kind of money for it. You don't have to list it. You don't have to ship it. You don't have to deal with someone that might be trying to rip you off. It is what it is, $80 in hand, and try to find some more. So that's kind of how it went down. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. But I got to tell you, when I got back home, I went on the Bearded Pickers live, and I was like dead tired. And I'm like, why? I'm just running around, and it just all that commotion. And I guess when you get older, little things like that kind of wear you down more. But how ridiculous is that?
We don't get out much.
Oh so. Man, I just like, man, I slept well last night. I mean, that's not it.
He woke up this morning. He's like, man, I thought I slept really good. Why am I still so tired?
Yeah.
I was like, because you were a busy guy yesterday.
Yeah. So, and then of course, because I'm out and about doing that stuff, and then I'm on Bearded Pickers live stream, it was just a lot of things that I had to make up doing last night, kind of work kind of late into the evening. And that kind of sums it all up.
That's normal.
Yeah, but I was
You
kind of
work late
working at
into
a.
every evening.
But it's
If there were 8 evenings in a week, you would do it.
yeah, I would, but it's only because I was doing it a little bit more. It was more of a hectic pace because I wanted to get my listings up, that type of thing. Okay, so that's my 10-minute diatribe for you guys. Hopefully, you found that somewhat amusing. We have a lot of you guys who got here early. I'm amazed by that. And let's see, we got the Flippin' Sports guy. We have Rosie Games. Hi, John and Jenna. Hope you are both well. Isn't it funny? Everything seems to be going up, but eBay prices right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Inflation, if you want to go buy eggs, you're going to be paying 60% more or more at this point.
It's pretty sad that you go on Instagram and people are posting where you can find eggs on sale. And it's just to me, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't go on Instagram to look and see where I can get a sale on eggs or dairy or anything for that matter, other than I love makeup and skincare. That's my sales. But eggs,
Well, look at the good news. There's less people that are egging houses right now because it's just too expensive.
and the whole, we went through the whole toilet paper debacle thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to shift and make it what's next.
Yeah, what's with this? The toilet paper goes up in price and they make it hard to find. And then the eggs, it's like everything you'd use to like tear up someone's house. Like you'd toilet paper their tree or their house. Or
So
throw eggs.
Has paint gone up?
I don't know.
I mean, the wood did go up.
I don't know, but
like at Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. But what I was trying to say though is I was thinking earlier how it seems like us sellers aren't raising our prices to kind of match inflation. If we try to do that, I mean, unless you have a great item, and the market dictates that you can. But we're really still not in a position where we can raise our prices to match inflation. So that item I was selling last year for $20, when I get it again, I'm still selling for $20. Yeah. So it's really, I guess supply and demand will fix that.
Change. I mean, I'm sure prices are gonna go up on everything.
Yeah, it's just supply and demand, and some would say that like a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with, like grocery stores, is sort of a man-made created supply and demand, where you're killing off all these chickens as a
and the cows,
as a preventative measure when there's really no need to do that. It just seems wasteful to me. But
Woody says, "Not me. I go up."
Okay, so we got Prosters in the house. Hello, all, and we have Mike, our buddy Mike. Hi,
Mike.
FAE family. Thanks for the heads up on Chat GPT, John. Haven't stopped playing with it since you brought it up last week.
Yeah, I was using it today, and it's very useful. I mean, it comes up with things that I wouldn't have even thought to use.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got a bunch of LPs on my secondary account. I'm just listing them. It's such an easy list. It's a fast process. But I don't know anything about these 1960s, 1970s records. But when I plug it in, write me a bulletized item description for this album, and it'll tell me the hit songs in there, the who produced it. I mean, it's like copy paste. Okay, move on to the next one. And if someone's looking for that, maybe they're looking for an album with a certain song, and they put that song in their search. Well, I wouldn't have known had this AI not told me. So it is definitely a tool. Not everyone's going to be able to use it. I understand it.
And sometimes you have to finesse it a little where you change the words, because sometimes it will come up with, they don't have an answer. And that's just because their software doesn't have the updated information, since it's, only updated to 2021. Sure, you think 2 years shy wouldn't make a difference. But if you go in and you finagle some of the words, you just change the verbiage a little bit, it'll come up.
Yeah, and also if you're asking it to write an eBay title for you, make sure that you're asking it to not you need no more than 80 characters, not including spaces, because it thinks it's actually giving you what you're asking for, but it's only counting the characters. And I'm like, dude, you keep going over 80 characters. And it came back and said, no, I gave you 76 characters. And I'm thinking, okay, it's not counting the spaces.
Yeah, the more specific you are, the more specific it will give you the answer.
We got Damian D locked in early with 2 lines. So thanks for watching us twice. Hit the like button on both of those for me. Rosie says, have you considered streaming on Rumble? Not really. No, I mean, you got Rumble, you have Twitch, you have all these services that you can, maybe even Facebook, it's something that I guess we could do, but I need to build up like the Facebook. I'm trying to build up one with the shorts, and it's not too great right now, but I just got to put a little bit more effort into it.
I just think that Facebook is old. Like Facebook is the what was that one site we used to go on when we were younger?
MySpace?
Yeah, it's kind of like,
well,
it's fading out.
Well, here's the thing. As long as they are still viable, there's still a lot of people that use Facebook for, these programs. So maybe I'll look into it. If I get enough people that'll follow the channel, maybe that'll be a way to build that one on Facebook. Mike is using Chat GPT for all research and optimize new and existing listings. What a powerful tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you got to just put the time in. And some people, they have these listings already up. They have the set it and forget it mentality. And, if you have listings right now that when you go to click on the listing and go to revise it, and you only have the title, that's what eBay puts in there when you're creating a listing. Maybe you let it default to whatever. Well, it's trying to utilize that title for its SEO optimization, but it's the same information than what you have in the title. There, the reason for an item description is really twofold. One is, and this is, people were kind of confused in talking about this, but the item description is there to give information to a prospective buyer who might be on the fence of buying your item, and because it may not fit a need, they're not quite sure about it, whatever it is, that information will provide keywords that maybe they put in to the search, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the second reason. So if not only is it giving your buyer information, but it's a spillover from your title that allows you to put extra keywords that they could type in for that item to find it in search. And, someone said, well, I'll just leave, the color out, because they're using that. I have that in my item specifics. But the item specifics are more of the filter. When you're using the filter to filter down this Nike shirt, okay? So now you have in your item specifics red, and you've omitted it from your title. Well, if they were looking for a red Nike shirt and not looking for, not using the filter that eBay provides, where you could filter down your results, then they're not going to find it, because there's no indication in your title or item description that shirt's red, even though you put it in your item specifics, if that makes sense. So, the only reason why eBay has had us put stuff in item specifics is so that we can be forced to conform to their search tool, to drill down that particular search. So if I'm looking for blue, red, green, I can go in and select the color.
You have to kind of think of it as, what would you type in for if you were searching for something on eBay?
But it's not just so much what you would type in. Okay, so think of all the variations of what someone would type in.
And I'm not just saying me, I'm just saying, put it into your own verbiage, and then flip things as you think somebody would look up that item.
And if you could actually, and we don't have access to this data, but if you actually could go in and see, wow, what is this person typing in to find this item? You'd be like, why are they typing that in, right? Or, wow, I didn't think of calling it that or typing it in that way. And that's where your item description comes in, where you put all those keywords and to something that's not just a jumbled blob of words to keyword spam your listing, but to make sense of it, and to, like the albums that I do, right? I would have no idea that half of these, albums, what hit songs they had back in 1965. But this thing seems to, and if someone is having, flashbacks to their childhood and want that album and remembering that song, they ain't going to find mine unless I put the name. Maybe they don't know the name of the band, but they remember the song. That will basically help them in search. Let's see. We have, and then Damien is in Orlando, Florida. That's cool.
Is it nice and warm there?
I bet. But I kind of like
freezing.
this.
It's so windy.
I like it.
It's so windy and cold.
Rosie says, bring me some of that warm weather.
Yes, I
Gail
agree.
says, hello and happy Monday. Not Monday. Are we on Monday yet? I thought I was the only one that made mistakes. Nope.
It's Friday.
Someone's like traveling back from the future here.
Or
okay.
She's either jumping.
Well, you know what? When you're a reseller, though, the days of the week, they just mesh together.
Yes,
so just save this comment for a few days and then repost it. Prosser says, I had a real dead week and on top had 140-pound return due to customer changed their mind. So yeah, really bad week. In fact, my only sale I had is a Depop and Vinted. So yeah, I hear you on that. I got to tell you, for some reason, I don't know if you guys that are cross listing onto Mercari, it's like been dead for a couple weeks for me. Now, my theory is I really haven't been adding a whole lot of items on there anyway, so that might be part of it. And just haven't had time to mess with cross posting on that. Jenna does the cross posting over to Posh, so we've been pretty good there. But again, I think it's just, you don't show it the love that these sites want you to show it, and you're not going to get the kind of activity. So
Rosie said next week is right around the corner.
Yes, next week is right around the corner.
The Monday comment.
Yeah. Damon D. Big Dog, let's go. Yes, let's go. You guys, it's awesome. I'm reading so many comments you guys dropped in here before we even started. So I'm kind of not even on the live yet, but it's pretty cool. Process is always like we get 1, 2, 3 of the month, and then last week sometime week and a half it's dead and everyone's spent out. Yeah. Hard to say. It's kind of hit and miss for me. It's nowhere near where I want it to be though, that's for sure. Talking about football, we'll pass that. Mark Suddick says, hi, your info on the AI site was great. It's amazing. Thanks. Hope everyone has a great weekend.
It's just a really great tool. So we have these toolbox, right, that we use in our business, we use in our life, we use, personally. And this is just another one of those tools that we can use for so many things. If you wanted to write a book, a children's book, or a song, or you just tell it to do it and it does it. It's just incredible.
Yeah, we're playing with it on Bearded's channel, the Bearded Pickers channel last night. And for those of you who weren't tuning into that, the Beard made a song for his channel. He was so happy, because it made this song, like we made a song for the channel, and it was talking about how he drives to different places to buy stuff to sell on Amazon. And so I decided to ask it on my side to write a song about the Bearded Picker. And, I put, he travels to different Walmarts and CVS stores to buy stuff and resell. He might be, but it sang a totally different song. It was basically calling him a crook and ripping people off. And it was like, wow,
that's so wrong.
It was so wrong. But yeah, it was kind of hilarious though, that the fact that it was playing nice to him, but the moment you ask it about someone else, it was telling you what it really thought. So my hat's on all screwed up here, but who cares? So yeah, that was, you can have a lot of fun with that thing, that's for sure. So we have Jovial Jugglers in the house. Happy weekend.
Hey.
Yeah, and process, I would say John should do a day in the life of Flipping Ain't Easy, but since he works from dawn to dusk, it'll be a very long video.
That would be like a 12-hour video, so no, that's not happening.
Yeah, but it would be all over the place too.
Yes,
to be honest
he is
with you.
all over the place.
It's just, I've thought about doing that, but how many people here really would tune in to watching me, do my thing and listing and stuff? I mean, I don't know if I'd want to watch that.
I don't think it'd be very interesting.
I tend to not write, but put out stuff that I think that I'd want to watch. And I don't know. Maybe, I guess if I'm sitting there rambling and a few of you want to hear me ramble about stuff while I'm working.
There would be a lot of bleeps in there.
Yeah. I'd get demonetized quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's try to get caught up to the show here. Why don't we? Biff says, if a USPS increase is going to make or break your business, you are already in trouble. Yeah. But I think sometimes you have your sellers that are already losing money on shipping when there's no need to. And if we're using shipping policies that are 2 to 3 years old, not only are you dealing with this rate increase, you're dealing with the one that happened last year. And I mean, at what point do you get in line with inflation and start raising your shipping costs.
Hey, and don't forget, hit the like button so you get a guaranteed sale.
Yes, we'll help you with your sales, and we won't charge you a thing.
No.
And we offer 24 hours. Within 24 hours, it'll actually happen, and you get your money back. So every penny of zero that you pay, you're going to get back. Let's see. Bling Factor, Australia. Carolyn, hello. Just walking, but I made it early today.
Oh, good.
So awesome. GT's in the house, and we have Picky Ricky and Biscuit Butt is here. I'm the third one to give thumbs up, and there's more than just 3 of us. And it wasn't even 3 o'clock yet, so I guess I can excuse everyone for not hitting the thumbs up. Tyler's Trading Post is in the house.
There's Tyler.
IC says, hi, John and Jenna.
Hi.
How you doing? We have Kevin from Lakeland, Florida.
Didn't we already read his? Wait.
No, he just copy and paste that every time.
No. Wait, who else is here from Florida? Is that
that would be Orlando. That would be Damien.
Damien. That's
yeah.
Right. There's a lot of you guys from Florida.
I know. I mean,
can you send some? I don't want too hot because I'll get that in a few months, but just maybe 70.
Yeah, send over your weather. Just don't send over Tom Brady. We don't want him for the Raiders. I mean, I don't want him for the Raiders, but that's just me. So let's see. I'm way down. I know. I got to get caught back up. Savage Picker says, hello, FAE fam. Wanted to stop by for a quick hello because hubby and I are getting ready to go out to dinner. I'll catch the highlights a bit later and definitely hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging out with us at least for a few minutes.
Have fun. Enjoy your
dinner.
dinner.
That sounds good. Going to dinner sounds really good. Little chips and salsa sounds really good right now. Let's see here. I think I'm still not caught up to everyone. I know. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Process says, it's okay, John. You go list or something. Jenna got this. I told her she can come out and do the lives. Like, no. I want to see you do a live by yourself.
No way.
Picky Ricky.
We'd be talking about like not eBay.
Picky Ricky says, I had such a long conversation with Chat GPT that it told me I had to reach my hourly limit on questions.
Sometimes
Truman
you do have
Hare.
to reload it.
Hello from Silsby, everyone. Hit the like button. Start the 24-hour countdown. Yes. The disgruntled octopus is morning all. And Tyler says, hey, Jenna, sorry it's been slow. Also, I have been in your live streams. I just don't have much to talk about as I'm more listening to you guys. So, okay.
I asked him where he's been. I haven't seen him.
Purple Cactus Sales. Hello, just made your chat. Always a great chat. We try, sometimes it's a dud, I think, but we do the best we can. Picky Ricky says, well, I was giving it a quick fire questions. Prosser. Okay, you're talking to Prosser. Sorry. Woody Hayes is in the house. It's actually a huge deal. Yeah, the shipping, because look, if you're shipping a lot, right? If you're running out, I mean, okay, let's look at James, my boring reseller life. Let's look at his situation. The guy sells 50 to 100 items a day. So, I mean, you're looking at, if he keeps his shipping policies the same, in theory, he's going to lose about 40 cents per package. There's like a mix between first class and priority. And, you're talking that's 50 items a day. That's $20, $25 a day. If you're doing 100, that's 50. Now multiply that over, all the days of the week, right? Every day of the month, that's 30 different possible selling days, with 31 in January. And you're looking at quite a bit of money, and it adds up. So if you're selling one off here, one off there, yeah, it's probably not that big of a deal. But at the end of the day, you don't want it to cut into your profits. You don't want to have a $4.99 policy when there's a possibility you're paying $5.50 for that same label. Let's see. Nellie Stromsky says, hey, John and Jenna, hope you're all doing well. Jenna looking beautiful as always, and John looking dope. Yes, thank you.
Nellie.
Does this make me look dope? My I don't know if you guys ever noticed my Boba Fett Angels Star Wars hat. That
you wore it last week, didn't you?
You know what? I wore it. I did not wear it last week. I wore it the week before on a Monday, and I went bowling. And I said, "Oh, I'm just going to wear this to bowling." And I really never wear this hat. And I bowled like a 760 series. That's like averaging like 250 something a game. And I'm like, man, I think I'm going to wear this hat to bowling more often. Right. I didn't wear it last week, but I hurt myself last week. So I might be retiring from bowling. My arm is, my tendon's about to go and I could feel it and it was very painful. So yeah, very sad.
You see a furry friend?
Well, let's see. Woody Hayes says, we have been and now it's worse. You have first class mail exceeding the cost of items now. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. And, but people are still going to want those items. So, you know, the market, I think, is going to dictate when we raise that. But if you're trying to raise your prices because you're raising the prices of shipping, you know, it just may not be in the cards because other sellers aren't there yet, and they're going to sell their items before you if that person's looking for the best price. So you just got to be really mindful of that, I guess. But you know, I don't really build my shipping into the cost of my item. For most items, I try to just here's what it is, and then we're going to charge shipping on top of that. Callie Debs is in the house. We have Keena is in the house. So
Hi,
thanks for joining us today.
Keena, you're right. I went one time, and I will probably never go again.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have, okay, so the rule is at the bins, they have to, okay, you have basically this big room, and one side has like a 2x2 wide aisle of these big blue bins that roll into place with like clothing, and then another aisle of just crap. I mean, it's literally crap.
Broken pieces. There's glass in there.
There's good stuff in there, right?
I mean, to me, it just looked like a safety hazard.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to go get
and
some stuff.
It scared me because there were people in there with gloves on, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to go putting my hands in there and then get cut or scraped or poked or who knows what's in there. So I'm like, nah, I think I'm going to sit this out and one out, or, you know, next time. Because I had another lady ram me with her cart. I'm just standing there and going through a bin, and this lady just comes and shoves the cart right into me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stand in the parking spot area with my cart and just watch the chaos, because I have no desire to be put into the fire again.
Now, I picked up a bunch of like shoes and things like that. So that was like probably half the weight. Some pretty decent shoes. I threw about half the stuff back in the bins because they had some issues with it, and I didn't bring those in here. But I mean, I went going through the bins, and you got like these Volcom shorts, these like board shorts. I wore
my Volcom shirt today.
And you know, we're gonna get closer to warmer weather. I know you guys can't really sit very well.
Hold it up higher.
I know. Picking up like t-shirts, right? So, you know, like Surf Hero, and then the legend continues, that kind of thing. Has some cool writing on the side of the sleeve.
Wait,
and
what beach does it say?
I don't know, Huntington Beach, I think.
Yep, Huntington Beach.
Archie left this one behind. It's a Boston Celtics Adidas hat, right?
Oh, look at them.
Yeah, has a little Celtics thing on the bottom, and he was like, "Well, it's kind of dirty here." I'm like, "Clean it." I mean, it's an authentic Adidas hat. We're talking $1.89 a pound. This must weigh 8 ounces.
Archie sometimes, like, you know, he's his child. Just clean it.
Well, you know, friends talk to each other like that, right?
Yeah.
So
that's part of having a great friendship. You can just come out with it.
I couldn't find any comps for this thing, but it's a little Vans like fanny pack type thing.
No, that's a purse.
Well, it says Vans doesn't make purses.
Yes, they do.
So you got like this Vans like little deal. I don't know what it is.
It's a little handbag.
Is it one of those European shoulder bags?
No. It's just a handbag.
Okay.
I mean, you can't even barely put it on your shoulder.
I don't see Vans making something like that.
They do. Well, they did.
Picked up a new pair of Arizona jeans. I mean, look, this is probably about a pound, so we're talking $1.89. I know there's some bin stores that have like $1.39. They just raised the price recently. Some Speedo swim trunks.
No, those are not. Well, are they the brand Speedo?
Yes, they're the brand Speedo.
They're just swimming trunks.
They're not the banana hammock, right? So you got the Speedo. Sorry, I don't know the terminology very well. And you know, I picked this up too. It's very light, and it's a little Adidas like cinch bed. It's a matching towel. It's Go Young or something.
It's like a golf toe?
Yeah, it's Adidas.
Or bowling toe?
No, it's, I don't know. I guess if you're going to go play basketball and you got a little sweat you need to wipe down, I don't know.
Okay.
So, these things, these are like small ticket items, right? I don't see myself
Tommy
selling
says
them.
no money in shoes, leave them.
There's money in shoes.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's
But
being
I found a
facetious.
couple pairs of what were they? Starts with an M. Merrells. I found a couple pairs of Merrells that were in really good shape that we picked up. They're a heavier pair of shoes. They're really quality made shoes. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Merrell, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the haul that we picked up. I think I paid $34 for everything. I got
Biff Boffo said it's not banana hammock, it's a marble bag.
like board games, 25 cents for the board games. You could part these out, like the different pieces, and make, $20-$30. So 25 cents a board game. You just pick those things up all day long. So it's a kind of a cool deal.
Oh my God, the chat's getting out of control.
Uh-oh. I shouldn't have said banana hammock, huh?
No.
Nellie says, I am lucky estate sales are plentiful here. The cost is higher, but I have found some home runs. I can't deal with bins. I'd be throwing hands. Yeah, it gets,
yes.
I mean, it
gets violent in there.
Like people like trying to go early, and the rest of everyone's like, get back here.
Yeah. He was talking about there's an old lady, and she's like the
Oh yeah,
the teacher, teachers,
she's like that old teacher that you had back in like the 3rd grade that like,
get behind the line.
Yeah, just that lady. Yeah. So Picky Ricky says, I picked up 8 Titleist Gold Club bundle yesterday for a grand total of $150. I was elated.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying that's a golf bundle, right? Not a gold bundle. But just like the different clubs for $1.50 for all of them.
It may be a Titleist Gold.
There's no Titleist Gold. I'm a golfer. I know that.
I'm trying to
help. Prosser says you can tell it to rewrite, but include this or remove that till you get where it needs to be. Yeah, you got to kind of give it direction. But once you fine tune it, it's like, wow. Yeah. Mad Hatter's Boutique. Hey, John and Jenna, hope you're having a great Friday. Anything fun planned this weekend?
Nope.
You know what? I'm going to try to hit some sales. You know me. I want to do the yard sale thing. I think I'm going to try to make the bins maybe a weekly or every 2-week thing that I do because, look, the last time I went to the bins, I totally ignored the shoes. I totally ignored the clothing. Like this one guy ran up to the bin, like when they said go, right? And they said, okay, you can go. And people run into the different bins, right? They're eyeing things, right? They're walking around the stuff before it's time to go to see where they're going to go. And so this guy runs up to one of the clothing bins and grabs the shirt, and he's like, oh my God. He's like, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. And I'm like looking at him, and he's waving this shirt around like a t-shirt. And I went up to him later. I said, what were you so excited about? Oh, there's this Christian band. He tried to, I don't know if he's a reseller or not. I doubt there's, that many people who would be that excited to just go there and rummage through clothing if they're not a reseller. But yeah, I gave this shirt away many years ago, and I've never been able to find it. And I found it again. But I heard him talking about, how much he's going to make on some of the other stuff with friends that are there. So I think he was just playing it down that he was a reseller. But, just that kind of thing going on. People are there looking for home runs.
And a lot of those people that were at the one particular bin store when I went, they're all friends. So, they're pulling scores for friends who are, they sell a particular whatever, and they'll grab it to go give it to their friends. So it's like, I don't have any interest in fighting over crap.
Yeah, John Clark says, wait another 30 years and then you can talk being old. Well, I can tell you, I probably won't have a whole lot to say. Now, I probably won't be doing live streams when I'm 70. What is this, 79? Won't be doing that. Randall Lee says, John, TP and eggs, toilet paper and eggs, just what kind of wayward youth were you? Well, let's not comment on that. Let's not comment.
He was a bad boy when he was younger.
I've learned a lot since I've become an adult. I'll put it that way. Leonard says, hi, John and Jenna from New Hampshire. Lenny K. Yes, hi, Lenny K. Prosser says, raising prices takes time. Everyone needs to raise price a tiny bit at a time so it raises the overall prices. Yeah, but it has to be in like a collective thing. If you still have people that are down at the bottom selling the same item at a low price, then you're dealing with that race to the bottom mentality. And while you think your item might be priced appropriately, it might affect your sales when others are just still down at the bottom selling their stuff for lesser than it should be. The Mikey Bo 2004, when a potential buyer asks a question and they post the last message, the conversation is over. Be weird to say anything else. eBay apparently sees this as an unanswered message. Thoughts? Like for instance, like you get asked the question like, hey, can you tell me the size of the pit to pit on this shirt? And you come back and say it's 24 inches, and they say, well, thank you. That's all they say, thank you. And I'll come back and say, you're very welcome, right? Because what are you going to say to that? Like, thanks again. No, that's the end of that conversation. So maybe just you're very welcome, or glad to, let me know if you have any other questions, even though we really don't want more questions. I think that is kind of the line that maybe you should, but it's
or
not
thanks for checking out my store or whatever, just to know that you're the last one that wrote a message.
But this isn't that important. I mean, if you don't come back with anything, if they say thank you, then it's not going to hurt you. I think, and this is not something that's talked about a lot because there's no metric for it that we know about. But as soon as that buyer sends you a message, there's a timer. Everything you do is like, when it comes to that, it keeps track of how long it takes you to get back to a customer. How do I know that? Because Mercari is doing it. All these sites tend to try to do similar things. Mercari does it. They give you a badge on quick response. Like if you respond within like 4 hours or more.
Yeah, and it's a ticker that you don't see. It's all in the background.
So it's more important to get back to them in a timely manner,
As
not only for the algorithm.
Question, I mean,
but not so much for the algorithm, but the customer. When you get a response or a question from a customer and you respond like quick, they sometimes tell you, hey, wow, thanks for the fast response, right? So it creates a heck of an impression. If you've never done business with that person before, they're going to think pretty well of you, that this person's on point when it comes to getting back to me. What are they going to do with my package, right? If
they're going to trust you a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I had somebody on Mercari that sent me a message, right? And I think we were gone for the weekend. And I just didn't think about looking at Mercari. I mean, I didn't get a notification. And like 2 days later, I finally check it. And I'm like, ooh, like, let me answer her question. And I went to go answer her question, and she had me blocked. So she was like, this person ain't answered me, so I ain't buying this item from this person, because if they can't even answer my question about the item, then what are they going to do when it comes to shipping my item? Are they going to wait a week before they ship it? So there's people like that, and maybe people aren't going to go out of their way to block you, but it's going to leave a bad first impression in the back of their mind about you. That's for sure. I don't think that hurts your traffic at all. I think everything that we tell you you should be doing with eBay is a collective, right? So you have a little jar, we talk about that drop in the bucket, right? One drop in a bucket ain't going to flood you out, right? But you have all these drops in a bucket. Now it starts to flow, fill up the cup or whatever, or the bucket. And that's kind of what we are looking at here with eBay. Every little thing, from your title to the quality of pictures, to the number of pictures, to the item description, the keywords you use, your item specifics, your price, your account health, how fast you get back to somebody, all these little things. There's so many intangibles here that it just adds up. So you might have a great product and you're doing half of these things, right? And then those people come back and say, you know what, I'm doing great on eBay, but I'm only doing this. I'm not doing all these things you tell me to do. But it makes me wonder how much better that your items would actually be in the eyes of the algorithm, and potentially maybe another sale here and another sale there, more than what you're seeing if you were doing these other things. So that's kind of what, we talk about these things, not because it's the end all be all and it's going to be, the end of the world if you don't respond to somebody in a timely manner or at all, but it's just kind of one of those things where you're just trying to, it's best practices you're trying to do to make the algorithm happy about you and your listings. And the more stuff you ignore, it's less beneficial it is to your account. Let me put it that way, or to your overall search results. Let's see. Nellie says, growing up in the 90s, we could roll houses all foot loose and fancy free.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, look, people want to argue about how bad youth is today. But I'd kind of argue like we were bored back in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, right? So
We got into a lot of mischief because of it.
yeah, we didn't have the stuff that'll keep us like in like our phones, like, oh wow, this iPad, like, oh, I'm so mesmerized by this, that, and the other thing. We didn't have that kind of stuff. So we had to create our own fun with friends. And when you're with friends at night after dark, there's really nothing positive that comes out of that experience when you have a bunch of bored friends hanging out and you're young. Let's see. Bonnie Brink says, thanks for the shipping update. I send all my first class at a flat rate because calculated shipping is overcharging. Saturday, I need to update all my first class listings. Gardening sis. Now, here's the thing. If you feel that way about how calculated shipping is overcharging, what you could do is like I do, I go in and set within my business or my shipping preferences is I set to where the buyer gets the discount that I'm getting when I'm, offering that shipping. Okay. So like if you're not clicking that box, you're basically the buyer's paying retail, which might scare them away if they're paying $2, $3, $4 more in shipping. You can add an extra $1 or $2 to that, depending on the size of the package. So like my calculated thing is set up to where I'm offering my discount. I'm adding $1 in on the top of that price to offset the fact that eBay is going to be charging me fees on that. And the packaging material that I'm using to ship the item, and that works for me. So that's something maybe you can consider to where you don't feel like it's overcharging the buyer, and at the same time, if you're trying to do a flat rate and it's across the country, now you're out of pocket $2 to $3 or $4, and you're like, wow, this sucks, right? I don't get up. I remember a day when I was using flat shipping rates, and it's like, oh, of course they're in Florida. Of course it's going to cost me an extra $10 to ship this. But now it's like calculated plus $1. I don't care where they're at, honestly, because they're paying for it. Leonard got 2 bonus sales, so he must have double clicked it or something.
That's
yeah.
Right. See, it works.
Luba, I cannot do it. Okay, Luba, hello. Created my Bonanza account while watching your channel. Got my first sale yesterday. Love the instant payment. Sold an item that probably would be sitting on eBay forever.
What the heck?
We haven't checked either. To be honest, we haven't even checked. We haven't checked. I think I checked the other day when I did a live stream. But I think the only time I'm going to be checking about Bonanza is when I'm doing a live or when it's brought up. It's just because it's just really not worth the time. We've had one. Let's go to selling dashboard. No, nothing's waiting to be shipped. So that's good. I'd rather have the sale, I guess, but I don't want it to be late. Bonnie says the Mikey Bo 24. I just sent a happy face in response, and that clears the chat. You can do that. Thumbs up. If you are on your phone, you can send them an emoji. Prasha says, I now use the app to list drafts and use the chat GPT to fine tune that draft when the computer right before I launch it. Yep, that's a good idea. Mark Sudick says, thanks for the great info on the AI site. It's amazing. Hope everyone has a great weekend with lots of sales. All the best.
Yes.
Picky Ricky, I did it for Avon perfume and ladies hair dyes. It made some very special descriptions, I must say. Wow.
I can only imagine.
It gets like when I'm doing these records, it's really add this special album to your collection. I'm all, this thing is beat up. And and I put it that way in my condition, but you're trying to hype it up. You're going to get me a couple line ads here. You need to tone it down. Let's see. Chat. No one designed to says Chat GPT is mostly valuable for a store with 1,000 items or less. But when you have 5,000 to 15,000 item store, not cost effective to use it because it'll need people, power, employees. Yeah, I get it. And maybe though, if you are in the business of just listing a lot of items, right? You just don't have time to add a lot of fluff. You should be putting something in your item description. But if you're just putting a lot of items out there, listing a lot of items, there's a lot of stores that pretty much just list and forget what they've listed. They let these items just rot in their store and without anything. And maybe it's worth having an extra person every day go in for an hour if you have that many listings, right? And just do do a sell similar, end item sell similar for the ones that are about to end, and start making those items like, you know, a little bit better than they are, because there's really nothing separating. See, the idea is you want to separate your listings from the competition, right? Most people aren't going to be utilizing their item description the way your real eBay wants you to. And maybe if your item is not that in demand and it's still sitting in your store beyond 30 days or 60 days, maybe it's worth having someone to go in there and maybe change a photo around, or maybe add an item description if you didn't have one, maybe complete more item specifics to get those stale listings that have been sitting around to move. Just an idea or a thought, but it might be worth the money to do that. Mad Hatter's Boutique. I used the chat, not PGT, but GPT to write some 80-word descriptions for some sports team hats and shirts, and they were fairly cool, and it saves a lot of time. Master your keywords and magic can happen. Yeah. I think it's more beneficial to an everything seller, these things, because it's like, look, I don't know nothing about this particular thing. You can basically find out, oh, this is like I talk about the Kodak A150. I doubt that's even a thing, but let's just pretend it is. I don't know anything about it. And I put, please write an item description for this. And it finds the information and gives all the features that I wouldn't even have known. Chat GPT even knows when it's a good time to use the word unique. Yeah, rare. Sometimes it'll use. Art's in the house. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have Eddie Estrada. Sales have been great this month, getting sales every day so far. I've posted a little over 100 auctions this month. So maybe it's beginning bringing in customers. So yeah, I just unless, I don't know.
I know you say that auctions are.
I think there's something to that theory, but
I really think that when we put up, like 1 or 2 auctions within the store,
like a loss leader thing, yeah.
Yes, I really think it brought more traffic. I don't know what, I could be talking out my ass. I don't know, but I really think that it brought more traffic to our store, and I'm convinced of it, because last time we did that, our store was doing phenomenal.
Silver Bushman, everything is going to have to change. So yeah, I agree. Change is something that you have to keep up with, and it's not enough to just watch change happen around you and just keep doing the same thing. You got to be willing to adjust what you're doing to the change that's going on around you. And watching some people on Bearded's Live, for instance, there's some resistance to that change. I ain't going to be dealing with AI and, people saying that type of thing. But it's like, I mean, are you seriously thinking that by allowing yourself to fall behind the times that you're going to be able to keep up? Yeah. Look, what sales, I go back to 2019. The sales that I had were off the chart, right? Because I was able to do the things I needed to do. I'm no longer able to do a lot of those things because those opportunities aren't available to me. That's change. And the problem is I didn't adapt to those changes. I couldn't find a replacement to some of that stuff. And as a result, it hurt my business. And so that's just an example of how changes that maybe you're oblivious to that. Wow, I didn't even think that was going to hurt my business that bad until it's too late. But changes, if you're not reacting and changing with the change, it actually can hurt you in the long run. So there's people that said they'd watch that video of me working, I'm sure there would be, maybe it's something that I'll do. I don't know. But I think Jenna would be kind of bored holding the camera that long.
I wouldn't be the one. You'd have to put some kind of
I'd have to do something.
Contraption on yourself.
That'd be kind of crappy, huh? Honey, where did you go? I'm doing a live stream here.
Yeah. You'd hear a lot of banter between the two of us.
Ant White, it says, I think eBay shipping rates went up. I've been saving by using Pirate Ship again. Not a promotion for them. Just thought others might want to look into different options you don't already. Yeah. It's always a good idea. Like, especially if you're like, look, I charge $12.99 for this item to ship out. And it's like, why is eBay charging me like $14? Maybe, just maybe that item qualifies for cubic, right? And maybe you can go on to Pirate Ship and it'll give you a little bit better rate.
No One Design says tape the camera to the dog. He kicks the dog out of the room most of the time unless he has food.
Yes. Well, the dogs don't care about me until I have
Yeah.
food. They really don't.
They're laying by me most of the
Right.
time.
Right. She'll be in the garage. So she'll go in the garage and start like packing up items in the morning. And the dogs will be right over here by the door. I'm working on something here in the computer, and the dogs are at the door, like whining, wanting to go out there. Just
they are literally attached to my hip. I can't go. They're like a little child.
Yes.
I can't go anywhere without them crying, whining, scratching. I mean, my son, if we went out to dinner and my son called me and he goes, just listen. And he's like, puts the phone up, and Kylo, he's crying. He's
That's her
howling.
dog. That's her
howling.
dog.
And he's all, this is what your dog does when you leave.
My dog doesn't do that. My dog is chill.
He is chill.
Yeah.
Chewy is very chill.
Yeah. And he's the one that he just loves food. He'll eat anything, anything. It's just crazy. Dean Funderburk's in the house. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
He's from California.
Yeah. IC says, I tell my kids, shop at Mom's First 24/7 free 99. Yep.
Free 99.
Process Independent Trading Company says, I have already known 3 resellers that have quit on eBay since the start of the year. I think there will be a lot more to follow if people don't pick up their game. Yeah. But that just means
okay.
It just means more for us. Yeah. Suzanne says, I'll hit the like button as long as I do not get another $5 offer for a $30 item.
I agree.
Yeah, you get them, and I just look at it as opportunities. It's your opportunity to see if they're serious or not. Even if 5 to 10% of these people are serious, the other 90% aren't. I mean, it's just an opportunity to get a sale that all you had to do is just communicate and reach out instead of decline. Put a little note as to, here's my bottom line. I even had someone that they came at me for $10 on a $30 item, right? And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I can go down to 20 on this. And actually, I think it was 20. Yeah, it was 20 on the item plus shipping. And I came down to 20 and he came back at 12. And I'm like, okay.
I just don't
I basically, and this is after when I told him the offer of 20, I said, look, this is my best offer after fees and everything. This is the best that I can do. And I left it at that. Right. So I declined at 12 when he came back at 12. He came back a day later and offered me 15. And I said, look, 20 is the lowest I can offer. Unlike some sellers, I don't play the game where we haggle back and forth. I give you the best price I can give you, and that's it. This is the best price. So he came back and bought the item, okay, at 20. Yeah. So, had I just kept declining the guy, he probably would have went away and found somebody. But you know what? I made it clear to that person, yeah, you might be able to play games with other sellers, but I'm not here to do that. I'm going to find the best price.
I don't have time to bounce the ball.
Here's my best price.
I mean, come on.
Here's my best price. Do you want it or not? Mark says, Jenna, are you always saying how cold it is there? Just try living here in Toronto, Canada. It's only 30 degrees here. It's going to be 25 over the weekend.
Nope.
See, now I
wouldn't accept myself to that kind of misery. It was 34 degrees last night and this morning when we woke up. So I was not a happy girl, and it's windy.
Yeah.
The wind makes it feel like below zero.
I love it. I'd rather have this than the 120-degree weather.
Can we just settle for like a 75?
Well, that's what October and March is for. It's right in between seasons there.
We don't get really an in-between. Maybe a day or two.
We get about a month of it each.
No, not even a month.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about this in March. Woody says, Mercari buyers are notorious for offering, say, 20 on a brand new item that's selling for 150 and you're already giving free shipping. Mercari does have a flea market mentality.
Yes, I agree.
Rule number 1, don't offer free shipping on Mercari. Charge them, using Mercari's different prices. Input your weights and dimensions to get the price and calculate that into, if it's a $40 free ship on eBay, maybe make it a $25 plus 3-pound shipping label, 11 something on, UPS ground on Mercari, and make that work for you, that type of thing. We had a lot of sales on Mercari so far. It's been really helpful to have that. Let's see. It says No One Design. Hey, Jenna from Flippin' 80. Who's the guest next to you?
That was they were talking about when
the dog.
let me do the live by myself.
Ah, okay. Started going to a local auction called a peddler's auction. I'm able to get a bunch of stuff for cheap at one spot. Going to be my new go-to on Tuesday nights. Made $1,200 over the weekend. Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Christina is in the house. Hi, everyone. I've sadly noticed yesterday that eBay finally stopped using the regional A and B boxes. Well, you can still use them. You just can't get the rates. So you can use them as regular priority boxes. So if you're just doing a regular priority rate, you can use those boxes. They're allowing you to do that. Let's see. Woody Hayes says, who else has noticed the eBay ad rates are now 12%? Some of the recommendeds are up that high. And it may be, I mean, I hope that it's because people are using the higher ad rates and not because eBay is trying to manipulate us. There's really no way to know, right? Maybe they, again, if they're losing money, eBay does things to try to bring up their revenues. And it would not surprise me at all if they're saying recommended rates, because recommended rates are really supposed to be for the, the trends. Where's this item trending at? Not what they want you to promote it at. Jeff Zennick's in the house. Hi, folks. Endure, create, enjoy. Yes. We have a Kate Picker. I can source well without going into the bins. Not for me. It's not for everyone. It's not. No money in shoes. We said that before. I leave them. Look, the quality of the shoes aren't that great at the bins, but yeah, I'm so behind, but it's fine. But the quality of shoes at the bins, you can still find some pretty good things in there. And then Biff Buffalo says it's not a banana hammock, it's a marble bag. Hang on that mini towel out of the back of the shorts. Hang that mini towel out of the back of the shorts. You mean that out of the
shorts and the towel?
But that wasn't shorts. That was a little bag. It was a little bag, like a cinch bag.
Right, but she's telling you can hang it out the shorts.
Okay. Tommy says, just remember yellow up front, brown in the back to make sure they're the right direction.
So disgusting.
Is that from experience or what?
Because he has regular experience.
Suzanne says, when you pick up hats, do you wash them before listing them? Local thrift store refuses to sell hats in case they have lice.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't, of course, would never try a hat on. That's a thrift store, but you kind of inspect it. I mean, I don't wash them. Maybe I should, but I just don't. Like at yard sales, I pick them up, inspect them, look nice, and move on. Piggy Ricky says steamer is best for hats, so maybe I should be doing something like that. Randall says sounds like the Bactine Demolition Derby.
Yes, that's a good name for it.
Yeah. Biff Boffo says, why is it always the third grade teacher who's mean? I don't know. Maybe it's that transition. It's when you're finally starting to realize what's happening to you when you go to school. I don't know. No One Design says, when I need to get my boxing MMA fix, I go to the bins and it doesn't fail me that there are always two crackheads ready to rumble.
Yes.
Every week, crackhead stories.
Cheaper than pay-per-view.
I go so much to the bin. Lady always greets me and says, "Hey, come to watch the fights."
Yeah.
And I was asking somebody. I think I was talking to Archie. I said, how come there's not more fights at this place? People like fighting over stuff. Someone could easily got into a fight with me over that boot, I guess. No One Design too. I go to okay, I just read that one. Cheaper than pay-per-view. Tommy says eBay doesn't pay any attention to you responding to messages. YouTuber myths for views. Again, it's more like it's collective. It's a collective. I wonder, Tommy, if like a lot of things that I say that you should do, you're like, I don't do that, I kill it. But I wonder if you added doing those things to what you're currently doing, if you do even better.
He's already killing it.
Yeah, but you could kill it more. You could keep killing it. Just keep killing it.
Okay.
No One Design, always click the drop down menu and select answered. Or you could do that too. You could do that too. Tommy says no holidays or weekends, so you get dinged for not answering after 5 p.m. on weekends. LOL. Well, no, I mean, again, it's just to me also it's playing the algorithm, right? But it's also setting an impression with your customer. That extra, you're welcome is like, oh, that was nice. I mean, not necessary, but maybe it paints a picture of you're being a pretty good person that they would want to deal with. Randall Lee says, question timers. I'd rather focus on fast shipping, turnarounds, and positive feedback to my customers my feedback from my customers, what I value. Yeah, but I got to tell you, those of you selling Mercari know it's a thing. You get a badge for that. It's a badge that your customers see that you're fast to answer questions. No One Design says, I got an idea. Use Chat GPT against eBay algorithm because the speech, the same lingo you might get increases traffic and sales. Prosser wants to know, has anyone noticed the new rollout eBay doing with the Hub Europe for shipping? Yeah, I've seen that. I really don't know if I've had a sale to realize if it's gone from a global shipping program to it's like a 4-letter acronym now. But, I guess I was reading an article on e-commerce bites where people were being transitioned over, and some of the items that they did not want to send overseas, like the breakables and stuff, were getting set up. So it was like they're going in and changing the business policies for shipping. And I didn't see that yet. So maybe some of you have seen that where your business policies are being changed. I don't think that eBay should be tinkering around with our business policies if they're getting you moved over from GSP to the new program. Now, Tommy disagrees. There's no timer that tracked eBay for responding. We're our own business, expected hours 9 to 5. Are you supposed to wake up at 3 a.m. and answer a message? I mean, but again, Tommy, you don't have a manual. I don't either. But would it make sense that these sites tend to mimic each other? And the fact that eBay just doesn't have a badge for that, if eBay had a badge, then we'd all believe it, right? But Mercari does. So if Mercari, a site that's similar to eBay, that is trying to be like eBay, but yet they're implementing their own things, right? A lot of these, like I said, a lot of these sites try to be like each other. Like eBay's trying to be like Amazon. They're trying to be like whatnot. They're trying to do all these things. Wouldn't you think they would implement that somewhere into the buyer experience? So I may be wrong, and I'm a firm believer that I've said many things that are wrong here, but
you just don't know because we have no idea.
I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
I would err on the caution of they are rather than they're not.
But see, the thing is, I don't mind being wrong. I have no problem being wrong, but show me where I'm wrong. Show me where it says that this is not a thing. Show me where it says that eBay doesn't keep track of everything you do and how fast you do it. That's what I'm saying. I have just a thought, a theory, and until I could see where I'm wrong, then I'm going to keep believing it, I guess. Let's see. No One Design says, "Oh, I don't let my listing rot. I have a few crackheads go through to make sure." So you just give people rides home. You give people rides home from the bins. Is that what happens? Anytime Picker says, Tommy trained Chat GPT to respond to all eBay messages that he gets. He can sleep all day. That would be a pretty cool tool.
That would be.
Tommy says they can't even find description, pictures, placement, and price is what sells an item. Let's see. No One Design. Every time I ask questions about it, about shoes, it doesn't like it. It says Anytime Picker. No One Design. Tommy is right. eBay buyers expect sellers to work 24 hours a day and 365 a year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's true. You have people that, let's say they're shopping at 2 a.m. They couldn't sleep. They wake up and they're just, okay, I need to buy a pair of shoes. I can't sleep, so I'm gonna go shopping, right? And then they send you that message and they're asking you about your item, but do you think they're gonna basically go back to sleep and say, you know what, maybe they'll answer me in the morning, or they're gonna keep shopping and maybe stumble across the thing that they find that's gonna work for them. So unfortunately, that's kind of how most buyers work. I'm not going to talk about what Picky Ricky's saying there. Tommy says, Roman, every message I get is just the dollar amount or asking for mileage on shoes, like it's a 74 Impala, no answer needed. And I always say, look, the caveat that, you know what, I'm just a blowhard guy that's sitting in front of a camera telling you what I think. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing better than me, if you're just killing it, then I mean, just write off what I have to say. I'm not going to take any offense to that. I'm just trying to offer you my thoughts and my ideas. No Agenda 77 says, thank you, John, for the Chat GPT tips. I'm amazed at how it has filled up my descriptions. It is cool how you can train it to output. I got to recognize shirt dimensions and format it correctly.
Right.
See, I mean, you just find ways for it. You know, for many of us, it's just like, yeah, I looked at it, I tried it, it's just not for me. But if you can find how this thing can help you, why not use it? I guess the argument could be made that, well, all we're doing is we're, encouraging, that if everyone's using Chat GPT, we're just encouraging more of it, and it's going to take over the world. But guess what? Whether you participate or not, it's still going to take over the world. So you might as well get as much as you can out of the technology that can help you. Anytime Picker says, Tommy, that's the most important thing. If thread is still there, at least even if there's no thread, it's all good. Let's see. Randall says, we're all looking for new niches and others are always watching you. So when the times are good, sell before the others figure out what you're doing. Yeah, I agree with that. Prosser says, you ever thought of doing a come list with live? It's good motivation idea. Helps people get in the mood and list for an hour.
Like list with me.
Oh yeah, I could, but some days I would demotivate people, I think. I'm just saying, I get so like all over the place some days. I'll admit it. Biff says, if I get a low ball, I just decline and edit the auto decline on my listing. They'll either come back with a good offer or they'll be handled without any effort from me. Yeah. Tommy says, I thought Mercari wouldn't let them offer more than 40% off. I'm not sure what they can offer. I've had some offers, that were kind of low on Mercari, but maybe. No design. I love how low ball offers. I usually counter 1 cent off the original price and wait for the whiny message back. It's my favorite pastime. No Agenda 77 refuses to go past 10% on promoted listings. Nature Made in Utah just promoted everything I'm selling at 25%, trying to put more life into a dead store. Wondering how that turns out for you. Tommy says, send a link to a welfare application. I'm not going if there's no fight. Yeah. It's like for me, I won't go to a hockey game unless there's a fight. I mean, there's no way to know, but that's kind of, I don't watch hockey.
I mean, you're almost guaranteed one at a hockey game.
Helmet and shoulder pads, I would recommend.
Yeah.
Like you got to have gloves.
And you have to have gloves.
And I didn't have them this time. And Archie's like, your hands look nasty. And I'm like, oh, but they have halfway clean bathrooms there, so you can go wash your hands up. But let's see. Our bins are competitive, but nothing like some of the ones I've seen on YouTube. I've heard that the Vegas bins are pretty good. They're pretty good for stuff, and people are kind of policing themselves, when it comes to stuff, but it's just more expensive. And I guess maybe that's not such a bad thing because the higher you make the stuff, less people will go, I guess. But, $1.89 a pound is still pretty reasonable. The Mikey Bo says sales have been crappy lately, but I did sell a single candle for 160 gross, a particular sought after Yankee candle. Thank you for all that you guys do. It's a big help. Well, we're glad to do it. We have a good time with you guys. Bonnie Brink says, I wish I wash all my hats and then put them in my homemade blocks to dry them. Small soccer ball, metal bowls, whatever fits. Okay. Yeah. Thomas says Mercari doesn't deal with businesses, so they need ways to reassure buyers. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to build market share. I get it. Randall says, John and Jenny, your advice is always worth the thumbs up, but it's been an hour and no new sales. And how the thumbs up work again? 24 hours.
24 hours.
You get a sale.
24 hours, you get a sale.
You got to have at least more than one item in your store, though. You got to have some stuff in there. So let's see. Mad Hatter's Boutique. How long do you usually leave an item on eBay before you delist, sell similar to relist it, put another listing site? So I give it the way my strategy is this. I'll give an item on eBay 30 days. Now she does Posh pretty much as soon as I list the clothing item or shoes. But other than that, when it like Mercari, I give the item 30 days on eBay. So I list the item and every day I'll go in and sort my listings by end time. So the items that come up with the red time left are the items that I go in and end item and sell similar. So I'll right click, sell similar, and I'll go in and drop down and hit end item. And then I'll go to that listing, figure out what can I do better, lower the price if I need to, add more promoted. Maybe the best picture isn't the first one. Maybe the title needs to be tweaked. Maybe just had a bad description. Could be a combination of all those things. And then I relaunch the item. And then I go in the items. After I've done that, I go into the items I've newly launched, and I'll go in and I will add those to Mercari, and I'll add the Mercari designation to my SKU. So if it's, in shelf 10, I'll put 10 and then like Mercari. Maybe you'll see 10 Mercari Poshmark, that kind of thing. So that we know that if it's sold, we'll go in and delist those items from those sites once it's sold. Tommy says, I don't take offers, and every message I get is an offer. If I had to answer them, I'd go back to a 9 to 5. Yeah, I mean, hey, I get it. If your items are selling great, then there really isn't a need. I've noticed we sell like a couple pairs of shoes. We probably have about 150 pairs of shoes listed right now in our store. We're selling maybe 1 or 2 a day. That isn't so great to me. And I'm trying to figure out, if like you're selling used shoes, I'm selling used shoes, is because you have a niche. Maybe your niche down. That's why you're getting more sales. Maybe it's because, you have better prices. Maybe there's a lot of different things that is going on, but I'm not satisfied with the number of shoes that I'm selling. So I'm going to utilize as many of those things that I can to get those things moved. No Design says eBay does not have a timer on messages. This is what Chat GPT said. Ask about Mercari. I'm curious what it says, because I know for a fact that it does in Mercari. Randall Lee says, when I buy on eBay, I look at feedback when the seller has to decide to buy from. Fast shipping is a selling point for me. Yeah, fast shipping is, because you don't want them to wait 3 days if you want it to, like this week sometime. Noah Design, eBay does not have a timer on messages. Buyers and sellers can communicate through the platform messaging system as long as the listing is active and the transaction has not been completed.
One right under that is finishing.
After the transaction is complete, messaging will be disabled for that specific listing. Okay. Tommy says, I'll give you the concierge number to call live and ask them, John. Yes. I guess I could. I mean, but are they really?
I don't trust anything that they have to say.
But I'll take the concierge number. I didn't really care too much about the answer. I just wanted the concierge number. Let's see. Mike Camparelli says, I always respond immediately once a sale is made. One buyer said, wow, is that an automated message? Or are you just quick? I respond, I'm just quick. And guess what? They're going to think you're quick about it's not an earthquake. I just kicked my desk. They're going to think that you're quick with your shipping. They're going to think that it's a good first impression. Let me put it that way. Shane Dillon says, I'd rather work 24/7, 365, doing what I love than going back to my soulless retails job. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, I think for me, all these extra steps, I understand that it's part of the process. It's just something that we have to do. You can cut corners, I guess, if you want. And if you're selling stuff like iPhones, you can get away with that. You can just do your bare bones listing, and the item itself is going to sell itself. We've talked about that many times here. But if you're up against high competition and the item has high competition, and let's say you have 20 similar items that's selling, and it's only averaging like maybe 1 sale every other day for that item, well, you got to do what you can to separate yourself from the others. And that's kind of what all these things are that we kind of talk about to add to the listing, this, that, and the other thing. No One Design says, my original question was, after the transaction is complete, messaging will be disabled for that specific listing. Now, when you say after the transaction's complete, that is technically with a 90-day period, because a buyer can still message you up to that point.
Yeah, I think that's what he means.
Yeah,
the transaction is complete.
Right. But it's not complete when they leave you negative or positive feedback or any kind of feedback, right? It's not done yet. I mean, in the eyes of eBay, that buyer can still go back and open some kind of a case, or they leave you positive feedback. I've seen it where someone's opened a return a week later. So it's really not done until that 90 days. Truman Harris says, if you change your promoted listings rate, does it take 7 days for the new rate to take effect? I think it takes effect like in 15 minutes. And then if that buyer, it tracks, if the buyer looked at you, let's say you had 10% promoted and said, you know what, I ain't willing to pay 10%. I'm gonna go 5%. I think it's a 30-day window where and I might be wrong on the exact time. I thought it was 30 days, where that buyer can go into your listing later and they'll still hit you with that higher fee if they buy the item, even though you a couple days prior you changed it to 5%. No Agenda says shoes definitely picking up in the spring. Tommy says I only sell high-end running shoes, Hoka on Cloud, Brooks, and New Balance. Saucony, last two not high-end. So no Adidas, no Nike. Saucony. I'm keeping an eye out for those, but
I've never even heard of those.
Tommy, most have 4-to-1 sold to listed. So yeah, that's pretty good. J-Dub Retro said Tommy got a plug. Tommy got a plug. I don't know what that means. Maybe what is your store, Tommy? I'd like to know what your store is. I'd like to take a look. Well, I'm not going to say put it out for everyone to see. Just send me a message. Noah Design 2. I couldn't find any information that Mercari has a timer on their messages. That is what Jay. Well, I can tell you for a fact. I'll send you a screenshot. That's a badge. Unfortunately, they give you 4 badges on Mercari. That's a badge that I don't have, and it's grayed out for me because of the lack of a notification.
He said, "Who is the real host of the
actually,"
and he said it says the wife. that you're a lie.
Well, it's here with us. I mean, I was joking with Jenna. I said that's going to be our third host here, Chat GPT, because if there's a question I can't answer, I can just type it in. Haven't done that today, but let's see what else we have. Gail says that this is a bit off topic, but where did you get your bubble wrap roll holder? I got that from Uline. I think I paid like $130, $120 for it.
Well, so worth it. So worth it. It gets it up off the ground, off the shelves, and I love it. So that's one of the best purchases.
Yeah, it's funny. I was about to grab some bubble wrap the other day. She's shipping, and I was going to grab some bubble wrap, and she sees me going up to grab it, and she rolls it up so I can't even get it. I'm like,
no, okay, this is really what happened. So when I pull the bubble wrap down, it lays over the laptop that I use to see what I'm doing. And I just so happened right at the split second he went to grab the roll, I flipped it to pull up the bubble wrap so that I could see the screen. And he looks at me and I'm like,
really?
I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you'd see on a live working thing.
He thought I did it on purpose.
Yeah, I thought you
didn't.
It's like, someone's trying to get in your car door and you pull up. It's like, what the heck?
It was funny.
Trombley's Treasury says, when you take dog listings out of your store, does that the downsizing affect your standing with eBay? I got to tell you, you know what? I don't think it has. I mean, I'm getting the same level of sold listings between the two stores. Yeah, because I have less now. I had 800 and some odd in my main store, and now I have like 325. I'm still getting 3, 4, 5 sales a day on that account. So I don't think it does.
To do with
I think it's better, to be honest. If you consider the number of items I have in that store and the number of sales I'm making per day on that store.
Why do you just dog listings?
Just the crap ones.
Oh, crap. Okay, dog, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
dog.
Not the dog collars, not the.
One moment. Sorry.
Yeah, it's crap, not dog. Leonard says concierge calls me back, or I have a text chat with them. I need that number. I need that concierge number. The truth be you, have anyone have a problem with more than one eBay account? I'm a top rated seller and I was declined for a second account, got reinstated, but it was a message that I owe money and told them I'm a risk. So I guess maybe they look at your account health on the main account or the activity you've had. I mean, I've actually had a third account where it was wanting me to, start selling on there. And that's like my personal buying account. So no, I just think they assess whether or not your main account's a problem. So you just got to get in there and just, maybe a solid month or two of sales and activity should change their mind. Let's see. Anytime Picker says Tommy invented all those brands and including Saucony. Is it Saucony or Saucony?
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now.
But Tommy says no way. Adidas and Puma slowest movers. So that might be my problem. I have a bunch of Adidas, Nike, things like that. Jerry's in the house. What's up? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Mad City Resell. Heck yeah, buddy. 24 hours a day. A lot though. Trust me, I've been there for a year straight. Now I'm staying consistent with 10 to 15 listings, 5 days a week, and 20 to 25 on Saturdays. Yeah. And the wife is happier as a result. Thomas says, can't compete with Adidas eBay store selling NMD and Ultra Boost new in box for 45 to 55. Yeah, it just, it's just a matter of what you're able to get, right?
I mean, it's nothing special, but
yeah. J-Dub Retro says, Dan Brown box online shipped me some Ultra Boost with the top eyelet broken, couldn't even lace properly. Ugh. Yeah, that sucks.
$225.
Okay, just got to look out for those. They picture one shoe, but they have the low prices. I should have known. Yeah, but I like to do that. I take like 10 photos for my shoes, and like I'll have like the shoe, the one shoe, and then I'll flip it around, take the side view of that shoe. Then I'll do the both shoes together on multiple angles. I mean, hopefully they had more than just the one photo for you. You could look at all the photos. Picky Ricky says, I bought some Calvin Klein boxer shorts a few days back. Dewey and the Way, but eBay. Saucony? Okay. But eBay has removed the seller's listing, so it looks like I bought fakes. But you have buyer protection, so you can get that resolved and get your money back. The Mikey Bow says, I use 2 selling planner hangers, a wire clothes hanger, and a wooden dowel rod. Holds 2 rolls of bubble wrap. It's basically a giant toilet paper holder. You can do that too. You can do that too. Just not as fancy. Let's see. Amazon Seller 99. Happy Friday. And of course, Woody says Saucony. Okay, so I learned something new on every show. Saucony. Shopping with Cheryl. Oh my, just tried Chat GPT for the first time. Popped out a good description for me. Yeah.
Telling you.
Excellent. And you can have it. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe say, do it without, rewrite it without this line or whatever. You just copy, paste it, and omit it if you want. J-Dub says, no, just one shoe. That's how they operate, and they won't give you more pictures on request. They are a big seller. Wow. So yeah, they're gonna put their best foot forward when it comes to showing you that item. Let's see. LSGS Rob's in the house. How's it going, Johnny? House sales just made it in. Thanks for coming. We're an hour and 26 minutes in, but at least you made it. That's all that matters. Sales, look, still getting the same volume even after splitting up the account. Have my under $20 items on the one account. Have my main account with items that are $20 plus shipping, and it's fine. It's fine. I got to build up my account. That's just a matter of what it is. So I got to build up the size of my store to get more sales, and it's now I can do it without maybe the perception of, wow, I cheated. I added a bunch of $10 items that really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's about building the value into the store. And this other store allows me to put some of the least desirable stuff in there. I can just really quickly list it and throw it on there and be done with it. Let's see. Tommy says, my biggest competitor is Sneaker Cycle, half price, free ship, free returns, selling $30 a day gross. I think I've seen $30,000. Yeah, I think I've seen that store. That store sells quite a lot. So Jesus. Damien says eBay is making accept a return on an RC car I listed for parts not working. Buyer claims it doesn't work. Duh. So my thing is, take the return. Don't let it time out. Hope they decide to keep it and that the return times out on their end. But if you get it back and the thing works, I would be considering, and some people do this, considering deducting the amount for the return label because they lied about the return, and maybe post a photo of the thing, with the light on, that when it's powered on, that type of thing, because you can't post a video or anything like that. But, you do have that at your disposal. Let's see. LSGS is good to hear. So yeah, we are at that time, about an hour and a half in, and we had a pretty solid conversation. Had over 120 people watching at some point. Just want to thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us today. And, a couple things. I said it earlier in the live stream, but I'll say it again. Look, I don't pretend to know everything on this live stream, and you guys school me a lot. There's times you'll come in here and correct me and say, hey, you're wrong about this, or I do this and that doesn't work. And I'm glad for that because it helps me learn. I would get absolutely nothing out of this live stream session. I mean, aside from your friendship, but I would learn nothing if I was just up here just saying that I know everything and you don't know anything and you need to listen to me. And because I know everything, I'm going to come out with my course that's going to charge you $3.99 a month. I'm not that guy.
I don't think it's that cheap.
Well, I'm saying $399 a month.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how good it is.
mm.
But nonetheless, that won't happen for me. I'm just not that guy. But I don't know everything, and I doubt that there's many people on this earth that have the algorithm and all that figured out. So it's you guys that help. It's kind of a selfish thing having this live stream because I learn from you guys. Really, it's time that I take an hour and a half out of our day, and it's really not only building new friendships, but just talking shop. And sometimes you have to get off of eBay Island, and kind of this is our way to do that. As far as the shipping, though, just remember, if you want to avoid getting hit with those fees, you have 2 days to do it. So any sales you get that you haven't shipped out, you might want to run that label before Saturday night, before midnight, before the new rates kick in.
Shipping on Saturday.
Yeah, just do it Saturday night. We'll just get it done, whatever we have sold, so we can save a few bucks. But if you're selling on a large scale, you're going to save a lot of money. And then Tommy says, we love you. We love you long time, right or wrong. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. But I learned from you guys as well, like I said. So, thanks again for hanging out with us. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
And we will talk to you again. And we're already looking forward to it, talking to you guys on Monday. So until then, keep making those sales, keep listing, even if your sales are slow, keep your head up, and hopefully things will change for you. And until then, have a good weekend.
Bye, guys. We love you.